Hey Victor, how are you going? Glad to have you here with me.
Oh, thank you, Raghav. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Very good, thank you. I'm very happy we're getting to chat like this, and we've been working together for a while now. I know we made some deals together. We've, spoken so many times off the record about the market, what's happening with property, and it's a pleasure to have you on. And we're going to discuss Perth market in detail, so I'm very keen about that.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good. How can I help?
Well, the main reason I wanted to have you on, Victor, was because in our space, what we do as, buyers agents, we help clients strategize their portfolios. We help them, kind of expand and we manage their portfolio on basis. So what we're trying to do is get them towards their financial goals. And in our space, what we're hearing is very controversial kind of feedback on Perth property market. Has this market peaked? How much growth is left? And I'm on the side personally of we don't think this market's anywhere close to done in terms of its growth potential, simply because of the fact, you're looking at a capital city where the economy is performing really well. So, just breaking it down the macro perspective, last year Perth had like a $3.2 billion surplus from an economic growth perspective. This year they're forecasted to have close to $3 billion. So there's still other states in Australia today running at a negative, at a deficit in terms of economy and
Mhm.
the spending. And so with Perth, you've got, more than $20 billion of development. You've got the Metronet, you've got the shipyard projects, you've got massive hospital upgrades. The economy is absolutely booming. So we're seeing median incomes across most of the suburbs that we're focused on increasing by 20, 30%. It's really funny because Perth has the highest median income salary from like most of our top, 10 professions across the entire country.
Mhm.
And it's not just a mining city anymore. And then on top of that, obviously, we have like literally no supply and we've got, multiple buyers per property. And that's why I want to speak to you about this being, having the experience on the ground and seeing what's happening at the open homes and what kind of offers you're getting as well. So yeah, with the way we're
Mhm.
looking at it, the areas that we're still investing in, we still see approximately 50% growth before they become as unaffordable as where I'm from in Sydney today. So just want to get your feedback. What are
Yes.
you seeing in the Perth market today?
No, 100%. I have to agree with you. Home opens are still busy. We're still seeing multiple offers,
Mhm.
especially at some properties.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that there is, like you said, quite a bit of migration happening. There is quite a lot of first-home buyers out there from different nationalities.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's no secret that infrastructure is being invested in WA. So look, nobody knows the future, but from what I can see at the moment, it's the market is still going very strong.
Yeah. So in the suburbs that you're focused on, do you see like most of the suburbs performing fairly evenly, or are there like certain suburbs or certain price points, certain type of properties that might be standing out?
I would say in general, the market is busy at the moment. I sell properties anywhere from 300,000 to 1.5 mil normally. So we handle quite a wide range, but then we're seeing across the board, they're still selling well. Yeah. We even an apartment, we just sold one in Burswood. So two by two apartment where we listed from 650 and it sold above the asking price still. Again, that's an apartment and houses units is busier normally. There is a bit more demand properties like that. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. And why I asked that question is because let's say we talk about, Perth not, peaked out in terms of its price point, it still has room to grow. There's still markets within markets. There's still different LGAs. We're focused on different suburbs. So we're very focused on those foundational suburbs that, have got high affordability metrics, very low supply, strong own occupied ratios. And that's very crucial for us. So we don't want to be in a
Yeah.
market where all investors are flooding. And there's a sentiment today as well that, if Perth has peaked, I'd rather buy in regional Queensland or North Queensland as an example. It's not like those markets also haven't grown 50, 60, 70%. So with Perth, we're focused on areas with at least, minimum 65% own occupied ratios. When you go to your home opens, are you seeing investors there? Are you seeing a lot of own occupiers there? And what about the calls you're getting? So like, do you get a lot of investors from the eastern side of Australia, making, inquiries on properties, or are they still very much owner-occupied driven in Perth itself from a demand perspective?
Yeah, I think there is definitely a bit of both. There is still a lot of home occupiers making inquiries, coming to the home opens, and that's why, like I said before, home opens are still busy
Yeah,
because the home occupiers are there.
yeah,
But like in any market, there is always the investors. Yes, we
yeah.
get the local investors, the interstate investors. I think because they believe that there is growth as well, just like what you said before.
Mhm. That's cool. So with owner occupiers, because all the data we see from literally every tool we use, there's no supply. There's no land to develop.
Mhm.
There's pretty much nothing coming on market. Are owner occupiers in the market stressed about finding properties, or have they been looking for a long period of time before, they're getting desperate and, bidding higher for a property as well? Or is it mainly, investors trying to bid and trying to get into the Perth market? What are you seeing from that perspective, from more of a desperate buyer point of view?
Desperate buyer. I don't think there is one that is more desperate than the
Yeah,
other. I think both are equally, wanting to get into the market.
yeah,
I guess home occupiers, they've already sold, then they really need a place to stay, then they would, it's not uncommon to see them bid above.
mm,
But then again, investors are probably still seeing that there is room to grow in Perth, so they don't mind paying that bit extra as well. So I think both are equally wanting to get into the market, just depending on, who's on the day,
yeah, 100%.
who that.
Yeah, and that's what happens when there's no supply. Eventually, when you've only got a few properties on the market for sale and there's multiple buyers, only one person buys a property, and I guess people have to bid higher, and that's what keeps driving these prices up. And then, we both
Mhm.
looks like we're aligned in terms of, where the Perth market is, and it's not done just yet. Where do you see it going? Like, how long do you think you'll see a strong growth market in Perth? When do you think this market might be unaffordable?
Look, when might it be unaffordable? It's again, nobody knows the future, but we are seeing that wages are also increasing
Yeah.
apparently in WA. Uh, so will it really become unaffordable if the wages increase? It's hard to say, right? Um, if things are staying as it is, I think there is still a year or two, hopefully three of growth. Um, Supply, like you said before, is still very, very low. There is only about, as far as I'm aware, 5,000 listings across WA, which
Mhm.
is still very low. There is almost no listings out there. So again, if things continue as it is, I think there is still quite some time for Perth to grow.
Yeah, 100%. And the reason why I agree with that is because when we look at the metrics, we're very focused on properties between, let's say, 550 to 700-ish in some locations with the right metrics, right fundamentals. And if you look at the affordability levels there and, to your point, median household incomes increasing and the way unemployment's still declining, properties can grow like 30 to 50% higher before they become as unaffordable as it is today. So we still feel that with this housing shortage, it's not really changing until 2030, and we're nowhere close to meeting the government's target of 1.2 million homes. I just posted today that, the latest dwelling approvals are 40% short of the target. So we're going to miss by a mile. And Perth already has no supply. So, it all comes down to, do you see value in investing in capital cities over more regional areas? Because let's face it, the way the market's moving right now, it's not like there's secret locations in Australia that haven't grown yet or that are still going to just take
Mhm.
off. So, if you're buying in a hot market, you're going to be seeing, growth over the last 3, 4 years, and that's perfectly fine if you can come to a reasonable confidence that you will still see growth. And that's what we kind of educate our buyers on. So, if you have a price point you want to hit and, you want to go sub 500K, Perth might not be the market for you, but it depends where you are, in your journey investing. If it's your first one or two properties, you always say you're better off in capital city with all that foundational,
Mhm.
government infrastructure planning rather than going more regional. But again, it just depends on, your at-risk appetites and what you want to achieve in the market. But yeah, we still see,
Mhm.
Perth performing really well until at least end of 2026 as a bare minimum. And going into 2030, just it all depends on, again, the affordability metrics. if any new supply comes on the market, and also how fast prices grow in the meantime. So yeah, if Perth, median price points, even where we're buying in certain suburbs, go above like 800, 850K, it's probably going to be a hard sell unless we see other factors change, like, again, wages increasing drastically, interest rates dropping, so many different factors at play. But the way it is right now, Perth is a really strong market. And Victor, like with these strong fundamentals still there, are you kind of getting any more listings? Are people trying to think that they're going to sell their property now to maximize their profits because they would have made some decent gains in the last few years? So are you seeing any of that selling pressure on the market?
There is always sellers in the market,
Yeah.
but we're finding that sellers, most of them are selling because they want to maybe upgrade or maybe
Mm.
downsize.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, there are some sellers as well that are now selling in Perth to go to Melbourne. That's just for family reasons. And
Yeah.
by the way, it makes sense now because, yes, Perth has seen growth in the price, maybe not at the very peak, but then Melbourne is obviously now a bit more
Yeah.
affordable. So it was just a perfect timing for them, So that's what we find a lot. It's just sellers selling to upgrade, downsize,
Yeah.
or moving to other stuff for
Yeah.
family
And what
reasons.
about your investor clients? So are you seeing investors, are they saying, hey, Victor, like I've got a lot of growth. Should I sell my property today? I want to take some profits. Are you seeing that in the market?
It's always that sellers,
Mhm.
but we're seeing that sellers even starting from 2 years ago when they were just happy. Okay, it's increased by 50 grand,
Yeah.
70 grand. I think that's really good. I'll just sell. There was always that type of sellers because everyone has got different point of view. But if they look ahead now, they're probably regretting it because there's been a lot more growth than that, isn't it?
Yeah, that is true. That is true. So you're not getting like, calls every day from your investors saying, hey, look, I want to kind of move out of Perth. Are you seeing anyone maybe even scared of holding a property for longer here?
I wouldn't say scared. There are certainly calls like that about, a few of them. Oh,
Mm.
look, I want to sell, maybe move my money, not necessarily property, maybe just in stocks, for example, or
Yep.
just holding the cash.
Yep.
Some are saying, oh, yeah, we want to sell now, we want to retire. There is all sorts of different reasons, but not really about being scared
Yeah.
that the
Okay.
market is going to see
That's good. So it seems like sentiment's still fairly strong with anyone holding properties in
it.
Perth. And we've pretty much seen the same thing. Like we've seen areas where, listings have slightly increased, but nothing drastic. And let's
Mhm.
face it, like Perth stock on market is like close to 70% below historical averages today. So it's not like any kind of increase in listings is going to even get us close to back where we were before. So I don't think that's something that even we're too worried about in general. I do still think that when this rate cutting cycle starts, which is very likely in a few days, or if not April 1st, I think we're going to see a whole surge of demand just driven by sentiment alone, because we haven't seen rate cuts for like 5 years now. So, back when COVID happened, that was all the way back in 2020 now. So that's when we really saw the last rate cutting cycle. And what normally happens after rate cutting cycle is, on average, just looking at history, over the next 2 years, the entire market grows at an average of 10%. So again, I'm not saying that's again likely to happen or going to happen, but we again just use probabilities and keep stacking odds in our favor. And everything tells us that Perth isn't done just yet. And given the fact rates are going to be cut, given how strong the economy is, I don't see this market slowing down for that reason. And that's why, we're still going to keep working together, finding the right deals for clients, which is very crucial. And that's like kind of the last thing I want to touch on. So there's always, this Australian property market's evolving so quickly. We've got obviously selling agents that have been around for so long, and everyone understands exactly what you guys do. I think only literally in the last 12 to 24 months, people have understood the kind of role of, our profession as helping the buyer, helping the buyer, guiding them through their journey, getting the right property for them, securing a deal, managing a portfolio. So how then do we work together? Because we always get that question of, why are you getting off markets, or why are you getting, access to certain properties, or how come you're getting ahead of other buyers? And correct me if I'm wrong, because I just say what I tell our clients as well. I always talk to a lot of agents across the country, as you know, because we operate, nationally, and we always get feedback that you guys on average probably, are introduced to or meet or get texts from more than an average of 200 new buyers per week. And I get scared just thinking about that because that's an insane number. I wouldn't be able to keep up. And let's say you've got one or two or three or four listings for sale and 200 plus buyers are now new buyers, potential buyers are coming into your database. How do you qualify these people in time? I don't know. So when we've
Mm.
worked together before, and we've got a very seamless way of getting through everything because it's not just a purchase, it's the legal process, it's all the little conditions involved, it's making sure finances go through. So you know how easy we are to contact, and same goes with you guys as well, and how we have that one goal for both clients. That's why I think, we can make it very seamless for both parties and get to the right, kind of outcome. So what are
Yeah.
your thoughts on how selling agents and buyers agents work together today?
Well, look, personally, Raghav, I have dealt with you many, many times now, and obviously, being a sales agent, you're not the only buyers that I deal with. But I must say that dealing with you has been great because you have been contactable
Yeah.
pretty much 24/7. And as you know, in real estate dealings, there is always things that could go wrong,
100%.
right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And with you being knowledgeable about the contracts, contactable has been really really good. Yeah, and that's what I find. One buyer agent, you could be different from another buyer agent. Perhaps the experience has not been the greatest with the other buyer's agent because of the lack of understanding. So yeah, I must say it's been good working with you. That's why I'm here today,
Yeah.
agreeing to this podcast.
100%. And is that true? Like, do you guys really get more than 200 inquiries from different buyers every week, or is it even close to that number?
Raghav, there are a lot of inquiries for
Yeah.
sure. That I'm actually now having another assistant um, that is just handling my inquiries, my email
Wow. Okay.
inquiries.
Yeah.
When I get um, missed calls, that my assistant is actually calling them back. The buyers inquiries. So it's a lot of inquiries for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So you don't count them. It's just too many.
Exactly, that we need to have
Yeah.
someone to actually handle it.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. And yeah, it just comes down to literally like if you're selling a property, and let's be real, if you're in the Perth market, you mentally know that property is going to sell because there's no shortage of demand. So I think it comes down to, can I get the safest deal, I guess, probably for the seller without any headaches, make sure the process is very smooth, the transition's easy. And you'll make a very good point. And same goes back to you, just because we are so busy, but at the same time, like this is 24/7 market, honestly, the way we work together as well. So there's not a time where I feel that, we can't get in touch, talk about a deal. If we have to make any changes, like work around certain clauses, we're always, able to work together because of your availability and your professionalism. So I really appreciate that as well. And yeah, like it's been awesome chatting with you, man. I'm glad we both aligned on Perth and, just potential opportunities here. So I'm sure we'll have more clients to work together on some more deals very soon.
Sounds like a plan. I look forward to it.
Cheers, Victor. We'll speak soon, man.
All right. See you later.